Welcome to the Court of the Indigester. How are we all? Right. This should take us through today, and then I'll worry about tomorrow. All right, what we got? Paul Chappelle. Paul Chappelle in Spiked online. Please do buy me a coffee, become a warrior teacher. Come and join the winning mindset. We're starting in March. Come on, folks. Where are you? And subscribe, like the usual stuff. Yeah, right, okay. This is really interesting because it's about two-tiered policing. Now, we are very well aware. I mean, Let Women Speak yesterday, they arrested somebody. I don't know why. Then they de-arrested him. And we've got trans rights activists trying to infiltrate the movement. And there's something wrong with the police in my mind. There's something terribly wrong. And Paul Chappelle, writing on the 26th of January in Spike, says, yet another senior police officer has decided to prostrate himself at the feet of identity politics. This time it's Gavin Stevens, chair of the National Police Chiefs Council, which oversees the national collaboration between British police chiefs. Right? So it's where they all get together. Right? So earlier this month, Stevens stated in a Guardian interview, Guardian interview, that racial discrimination operates within the police at an institutional level. So police are racist. Again, it's... With this, he was endorsing the dominant view of policing today, fashioned by the findings of the 1999 Macpherson report and reaffirmed by the Casey review last year, that police forces across Britain are institutionally racist. Interventions like this have become sadly routine, and they are only making life more difficult for serving officers like myself. So the important thing to note about this is that we here have a serving officer talking about a situation in the police, and this kind of first-person testimony can be interesting in forming our views. Stephen is careful to say that he does not think all police officers are racist. Right, so not all police officers is institutional. Ask them to point at it. They never can. Right. Instead, he argues that the way our policies, procedures and training have been designed and implemented for many years have not had the voice of black people involved in the design, the implementation of these practices. Well, nor should they. Well, that's the whole point, right? You police without, fear and... not fervour, without fear and favour. That's it. Fear and favour, right? Oh. This, he adds, has led to disproportionate outcomes for black people. You just enforce the law. I don't understand it. Right? This is vague, jargon-heavy stuff that sparks more questions than answers. What does Stephen mean when he says that police initiatives have been carried out without the involvement of black voices? Perhaps he should look at his own organisation's website. There he can learn about the NPCC's efforts to create an anti-racist police force. That's a communist police force, by the way. Right? Anti-racism is communism. Okay? With the input of groups like the National Black Police Association, no less. In any case, the suggestion that black voices must always be consulted on policing matters should raise at least a few eyebrows. This isn't just patronising, it's also deeply prejudiced. After all, it assumes that all black people have the same experiences. Thus, they all speak with one voice. Oh my, oh gosh, the homogeneity of equity, of identity politics, of groupthink, once again. This time with the police, right? It doesn't help that Stephen also fails to define what black actually means. Does it apply to people of Caribbean heritage only? And where do mixed race people or Brits of South Asian or Middle Eastern heritage figure in all of this? These communities and the individuals within them have wildly different experiences when it comes to the police. Positive, negative, and everything in between. The police certainly do have a race problem, but today it's that our higher-ups are obsessed with talking about race. Indeed, the obsession with creating a force that reflects a community it serves has led to strange and tokenistic outcomes. The police are forever shouting from the rooftops about the proportion of successfully enrolled so-called BAME recruits, even in areas with a largely white population. They crow about these ever-rising numbers like Soviet Union production figures. Most of us might think the ethnicity of an officer is far less important than his or her ability to investigate crimes and engage with people in a professional, sensitive manner. I'd agree with that. But not our race-obsessed police chiefs. As we've seen in other fields, prioritising race in hiring processes can come at the cost of standards. Of course it does. We've seen it elsewhere. Look at these idiots in the academia that have got positions they shouldn't have because they're a woman or because they're black, because they're gay, or because whatever fucking reason, right? Okay? Whatever it may be, yeah. Because they can fart through their ear. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that some inept or possibly nefarious individuals will otherwise be nowhere near a police uniform could get through as a result, but no one in the upper ranks of policing seems remotely concerned about this. So you let in narcissistic madmen and women into your organisation and they don't care. Because that's what it is, isn't it? When you get these identity wallers, because businesses is now going, right, if it's got pronouns, stick the CV in the bin. That's started to happen already, because we need to exclude these people, right? Now, these duties, so it says here, ultimately, Stephen's comments will only make life more difficult for officers as we go about our duties. These duties should be the same today as they were when Sir Robert Peel came up with the principles of policing in the 1800s. These boil down to preventing crime, winning the support of the local community and enforcing the law impartially. At a time when public confidence in the police's ability to prevent crime and disorder has fallen to its lower ever recorded level, police chiefs would be wise to rediscover the Peelian principles. Absolutely right. Without fear or favour, not fervour. Fear or favour, right? Okay. Sadly, right now, their embrace of identity politics has led to a form of two-tier policing. So we see those expressing anti-Semitic hate on pro-Palestinian marches get a ticking off at worst. Right? So true. While gender-critical feminists risk a knock on the door and a possible charge for stating biological realities. We see officers who rarely turn up to the scene of a burglary continue to make fools of themselves at pride marches. From within the ranks of the police, it is obvious that we've completely lost our way. Some senior officers care more about appealing to the chattering classes, who will always look down on them anyway, rather than doing their job on behalf of the public. For change to happen, and it must, police chiefs need to get their priorities straight. They need to get back to protecting people and preventing crime, rather than pandering to the identitarians. Great piece. Very spiked, and thank you, Paul. Paul Chappell, there you in the link. Dubras. Go and have a look and see for yourself. This is not just happening in the police, though, is it? It's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. The chattering classes are ruling the roost at the moment, sat there with a champagne quaffing 4x4 and 2.2 kids in a white picket fence. The chattering classes, the London elites. Is it really? Are they really the problem? Maybe they are. I think they probably are. But so what we've got is a situation where identitarian politics is taking over everywhere, and we need strong people, strong leaders to remove this from the public square and do so with absolute prejudice. With extreme prejudice, it must be removed from the public sector. The police, the NHS. I had dinner with a doctor the other night. Nice chap. Handsome man. Right? Classically handsome. Yeah. So I could sit there over dinner going, ain't he lovely? Right? So I had dinner with a doctor the other night who told me. He said they've got, for example, a trans-identified male in the department in which he works, right? And he said all he does is talk about things that are sexual. So every time he encounters someone, he starts talking about things that are sexual. And this doctor says to me, is that what you're talking about when you say these people are fetishists? I said, absolutely. I didn't encourage the question. He said to me, I've seen what you do. I'm wondering, he said, I've got this guy who dresses as a woman. And whenever he's with anybody, he always brings up sexual topics or topics about intimacy. He said, is that the sort of thing that I could expect? That's absolutely right. So he's got a practicing autogynephile doing it in a medical setting, in a hospital. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go with this, right? And to the chattering classes, the identitarians, that's okay. No wonder Paul's a bit worried about the police. Call it out wherever you can. Come and join us. Become a warrior teacher. Come and join us. We do it one person at a time. It stops the frustration because it gives you a goal. It stops the anger. It stops the blur that you want to do. That's why we do it. They were at Let Women Speak the other day. Brilliant. Sending me messages. Right now, not on the couch dying. I'm still dying. Look at that. My sweaty bro. I'll leave you to it. Go and have a good day. I'll see you in a couple when I've recovered. Ta-da.